Hello, this is the writer of the film rather than the filmmaker of the film, Alex Shepard. And this film is Nightmare World, based on a script I initially was going to make for myself. This was for what was it, College Trowbridge back in the day when I was there. And then my tutor Simon decided, you're not going to make your own films. And it's part of hence the future tense bit. It's basically sort of a TV show for BBC Three, allegedly. As if it was made for BBC Three, basically. And I'm not overly familiar with BBC Three. The only thing at the time when I was making this was Family Guy. So I just made it cartoonish. And I got told off for making it cartoonish that this is not what BBC Three programs are like. I was like, well, I've only watched Family Guy, so, I didn't watch anything else on there because nothing appealed to me. So I literally had no idea. This was what all this teen drama stuff I was supposed to add to it, and I was like, nah, it just doesn't appeal to this sci-fi apocalypse story I was planning, which is basically sort of a mix of Omega Man or 28 Days Later, for those who are not familiar with the Omega Man, or, well, actually, I should say I Am Legend, which is basically the initial original story of that. It's a mixture of that and 3 Days of the Condor, where it's basically the idea of, like, for the film where Rob Redford, goes out for lunch, comes back, and always people he's working with been killed. And that's the idea of initially for this, but it's become, he hides from a bomb or this big flash. An idea I used later on in a movie called The Damned, which also had Ben in it and me, because I appear in this in a minute as an American tourist. Because I was supposed to have this costume. I had the costume ready. We initially did film it with my costume on, and then they decided to refilm it on the spot on the day. So I was in the clothes I was in on the day. Nothing to do with the film. This was clothes I was wearing, working on whatever I was doing at the time, and then we had to refilm this. So yeah. So now I look like an American tourist guy, which I can't unsee now. Thank you, Ben. He's a British guy. You met the Queen. Yeah. Yeah, fun fact. When I heard this was going to be, we had to be done by other people, like, I basically send in my first draft rather than the draft I was working on, because at the time I thought I was going to make it myself, but ended up making The Damned instead. 2 years later? Yeah, this was the first year, so it was 2 years later. So yeah. Had the idea in mind in case I decide I'm gonna make it, but I never got around to it in the end. I might one day do it. I love the idea of, like, this everyone disappearing and that theme of paranoia, and yeah, in the end, the version that became The Damned became a zombie film, and well, we got this version anyway that Ian made, so it's more his vision than mine, because he did his own version of stuff with it. Even the script is altered a bit. At the start, he was meant to be talking about the burning rather than Saw. It was supposed to be a group of friends rather than that. Lucas. That's not how to spell my name, unless to make a complaint. It's Lucas, as in Lucasfilm. I'm gonna remake the Harry Potter films in film one day. Fun fact, we did a film called Virus, based on a script by someone who just left. It wasn't finished, so we had very little material to work with. But the initial idea was, we choose this script because we can do what the fuck we want. And we got told off for doing what the fuck we want, so we had to do it based on the scripts properly, which was daft because other people were doing their own thing, so we ended up making this stupid shitty film called Virus.